going to be going to your classes at this time. If you would, follow your teachers. And they're going to be talking about missions in the church as well. I mean, in Sunday school classes. So if you would follow your teachers, and the rest of you will remain here with us. All right? So, mom and dad, if you want to deliver your children to the classroom, you can. And then you have to pick it up later on, okay? For the end of the service. The agony of children departing from their parents. Some of the parents says, yes, freedom. Children is a blessing, the Bible says, isn't it? So it's from the Lord. Anyway, guys, it's good to see everyone here today. In spite of the weather, it's frightful, and but God is good. And today you're going to have a special treat, as I mentioned earlier, that we have Pastor Jason go from Singapore missionary to Thailand, and Myanmar. And you're going to find him. He's quite like a 007 kind of missionary. He's everywhere, and so. When we talk, get to know each other, we had lunch a few days ago, and spent half a day, talking in the office and lunch. Discovered that we have so many people that we know that are similar people, same people we know from years back, and so the world is really small. It's a very small world, and unfortunately, like I said, his wife, Polai or Valencia, some of you know her as Polai, could not be here today as she's. Back in Singapore. He'll tell you why and all of that. And they have a daughter who's 11 years old now. Is that right, brother? 11 years old, hey? And so she's growing to be a teenager really soon. But I would just want to turn the time right now to Brother Go. And he's going to take you to Thailand, to Singapore and all that. So guys, listen to it. And then after his presenting his ministry, he's going to take us to the Word of God. So looking forward for this great church. So let's give him a good welcome. And then Pastor Go, please come here.
Good morning. How's everybody? Kumusta? Sabay mai? No ties here? No? Mingalala? No Burmese? Kia ora? All right. It's my first time here, and I can already feel the warmth and the love of the people. And I totally love to minister or to be in a church of this setting, because you have so many people from different nations, different background, different cultural background, and this is, I believe this is how heaven's going to be like.
Yeah.
All right. And I honestly think the array of food that we're going to enjoy in heaven would just be as good, all right? I think whatever we're experiencing here on earth, God is preparing us for heaven.
Right.
All right? I don't think we will be living in a cottage, with, like, I went to Hobbiton. How many of you have been to Hobbiton? Okay. All right, I don't think it's going to be like Hobbiton, okay, with all the green pastures and all that. I think heaven probably is going to have like skyscrapers, a train, and I don't know about train, but because we'll be zipping here and there, right? But there'll probably be skyscraper and all this and that. I don't know. The Bible doesn't really paint a picture, but I strongly believe that whatever we're experiencing here on earth, it's going to be like heaven, minus the sin and the nasty stuff, okay? Everything will be redeemed to its original state. So I'm looking forward to heaven.
Amen.
Okay? Look much more than before. Okay? As you have more wrinkles and gray hair and all that. So you kind of like, all right, Lord, I'm ready. So anyways, it's good to be here, and I'm glad that I get to spend time with your pastor, Pastor Owen, and that's what he said, discover that we have several common friends. The world is really not that big, it's only, 5.7 billion people, right? You can't run into someone you know. Okay? So, and I was just talking to Phoebe and realized that when she goes back to Singapore, when she has a chance to go back to Singapore, she goes to a church that my sister goes to. Right? And the couple of, you call them life groups here? Or connection group. They call it disciple groups, DG. They call them DG. So they have like hundreds of DGs. It is a big church. So, and a couple of their DGs are very involved in our ministry. They sponsor us. They donate. They contribute to us, to our ministry financially. So we live in a really small world compared to the entire universe that God. Just look at the Milky Way. The Milky Way is just a small part of the entire universe that God has created, right? So I just cannot imagine how heaven is going to be like. But we're not going there yet. I'm sorry to tell you that. We're still here on earth, and we have a very, very important task ahead of us. And today my challenge to you is don't look at it as a task, because the task could be neglected, the task could be, it's almost like an option. You may choose to do it or you may not. I want to challenge us to think of a lifestyle. Okay, a lifestyle. And I know we are all from different cultures, cultural background, family background, but there is a certain lifestyle that we need to subscribe to, and that's what we call a biblical lifestyle, and we're going to talk about that. But before I go into that, I want to introduce you to, is the screen there? Okay, I'm not used to, I'm just going to come over here. Alright, don't look at me, look over there, alright? Am I able to control this? Yes, okay, that's my family. Alright, I wish they could jump out of the picture. I miss them a lot. My ministry has taken me to a couple of other countries, so I travel quite a bit every month. So that's my wife, Valencia, but in Singapore we call her Polai. Polai in Chinese means a precious beauty. Alright, you agree? Yes? Amen. Alright, so I better watch my time. Is there a clock somewhere? I'm in trouble, no clock to guide me. By 11:30, if I don't shut up, you just stand. Then I know, okay, time to. No, I'm serious. I always tell my church to do that. Just stand up, and they do. They're not shy to tell me, Pastor, enough. So, and my daughter is in the middle. Hannah, anybody Hannah here? Any Hannahs? No, okay. Well, my daughter, she will be 11 in November, and she's getting ready. How many of you know Singapore? All right, you know Singapore. Singapore is like a pressure cooker. All right, you grew up in a pressure cooker. You know, you go through the education system. So next month, they will have, my daughter will be having an exam, and they're preparing grade 5. She's in grade 5 now. It's the most stressful year because they're preparing all the grade 5 students in Singapore for a huge, big-scale national exam next year. So they're crashing them and cramping all kinds of information and knowledge, and they have to take a lot of tests, assessments, and so on and so forth. So she can't come, and my wife has to stay back to hold the fort while I come here and enjoy the warm hospitality in the cold winter time of New Zealand, all right? So, and that's me, of course. All right, I will take you through our missionary journey. It started in '96. So, and we continue to look forward and to what God will continue to use us and how God will continue to use us from this year beyond, right? So what happened in '96? In '96, we started a Filipino ministry in Singapore and established it into a Filipino congregation. It's now called the Faith Builders Baptist Church. So, and I was ordained and commissioned by SBBC, Singapore Bible Baptist Church, our own church in '97. By the way, in Singapore, now if you want to use the word Bible in the name of your church, it will not be approved. But we were approved like 50-some years ago. So in '98 we began our deputation journey. It took us to Singapore, Philippines, Hong Kong, Taiwan. Actually, not New Zealand yet. We came to New Zealand in 2002. And so in '99 we arrived in Bangkok on 18th of January, and we devoted 1 full year of our time studying one subject, and that was time. All right, I set several goals, and God God was willing, and God equipped me, and growing up in Singapore gave us a added advantage because we are exposed to so many languages and dialects over there. So and Chinese, I speak Chinese, and it's a tonal language. And being in Asia, there's some words that you could relate to. They don't sound the same, but in the context of the culture, you can relate to those words. So it was, within a year we picked up the language, and I was teaching and preaching after a year. So we went to a city called Nonthaburi in the outskirts of Bangkok with a fellow missionary called David Spites. And he was pastoring the church, and I was co-pastoring. So my area of involvement was to restructure the church administration and to help them retire the church debt. In leadership training, we chose 12 men, we trained them, and of course did quite a bit of Bible teaching there as well. And between 2001 to 2004, we took over a church in a place called Saibai, another city, and we saw the church grew from a handful of 40 to 50 in 3 years, and handed the leadership over to a Thai national in 2004. And right about then, we were praying, God, where do you want us to go? Where else do you want us to plant another church? And then, on Boxing Day 2004, if you remember, December 26, 2004, the Indian Ocean tsunami hit the coast of Thailand. Of course, the epicenter of the earthquake was in Banda Aceh, Indonesia. Right? Those of you from Indonesia, you should know. And it just sent a ripple of waves, tsunami waves, to several, I think 11 countries, if I remember. So Thailand, of course, was not far, and we bared quite a bit of the brunt of the wave as well. So we found out, and we made a trip there in a village called Ban Nam Kem in the province of Phang Nga. So we started some relief work because the whole village was decimated and destroyed by the wave. Over 2/3 of the population got wiped out. And so we started the groundwork of establishing a non-profit organization called the New Light Foundation, and built a community development center, and started building relationship with the local villages by engaging in relief work as well as teaching English as a volunteer teacher in the local public school. And the CDC was officially opened in April 2006. And that's our ministry right there, the 4-story building and the big warehouse-looking building over there. So we sit on a 5-acre property. So it's a beautiful village, as you can tell. I like to call it the Garden of Eden. I know we're in Mount, this is Mount Eden, right? You have the mountain, we got the garden there. So, it's beautiful, we're by the beach, fresh seafood delivered almost every day, and we have a fish farm, I'll tell you more about it. And if you were to take a close look, do you see a cross? If you can't, that means you're right. There's no cross there. You see around our property, do you see a wall? Surround the perimeter wall. If you don't, your eyesight is correct. Alright? Because we want this place to be open to every single villager. Alright? And even though we did not tell people that we are a church, but we did tell them that we are Christians and all. And afterwards, I'll let you see what we do. But it's interesting to notice that after a few years of serving the villages, even though we don't have a cross, we don't tell people we are a church, now the whole entire village of almost 3,000 people now call us the church. Okay? And they will come, they will walk into our property, use our property, participate in our events and our activities, which I will tell you now. What is the New Light Ministries? It exists to create an awareness of the gospel in a community and establish a church planting platform through education, social activities, and skill development programs. And you're wondering at this moment, so where is the gospel? How do you do it? Well, this is how we do it. The strategy is to create an awareness of the gospel in the community through our education and skill development programs, and which will provide opportunities for Christians to build relationship with the non-believing residents in the village through social activities and projects, and to establish a platform for soul winning, church planting, and national leadership training. So we have through education, all right, in our education department, we have a Christian school. We now have about 200 kids in our school, ranging from preschool all the way to grade 9, which is secondary 3, I don't know what you call it here. We also have after-school care. Oh, by the way, let me back. So this Christian school is to cater to the educational needs of children from migrant families. Our village is very close to the Thai-Burma border, right? So a lot of Burmese would come. In the past, they came illegally, and now the government, both the governments have, come up with an MOU, a Memorandum of Understanding, and now they could do cross-border visa type of application and all this. So in other words, the adults, the parents the parents are able to gain legal status through work permits and work visas, but the children are not able to get it. All right. So as a result, they are not allowed to go to a public school. So that's why our school is there to cater to their needs. And also we have after-school care. This after-school care is catered to the Thai kids who go to school, the public school, and after school they'll come, we'll have activities for them. And we also have music lessons, English lessons, basic computer knowledge that the community could come. So in other words, whatever we do in our education aspect, we are adding value to this village that no other organization is doing. We also, in our community and social activities, we do have a feeding program under the sponsorship of Manna Worldwide in America. So we feed about 250 kids. We organize children and youth camps, sports camps, and we also have what we call YPOD, which is the Youth Potential Development Program. We get the youth to come. If it's a church, nobody will want to come. But because it's a non-profit organization, the youth, the parents, the non-believing parents, the Buddhists, 99% of the people in the village are Buddhists, right? But they will send their kids. They will encourage their kids, go to this church. They call us a church now. And go attend the program and Sunday school, our youth fellowship and all this. And we will identify potential leaders amongst these youth and to train them. And we do have these kids who are now in leadership position in the student council or the youth council of our district. And of course, we also have community involvement projects, community events like Christmas, Father's Day, something. Our Christmas is a huge event, and villagers will come, or we'll go to schools to share the true meaning of Christmas. And almost without fail, people will walk up to us and say, "Oh, we didn't know Christmas is about Jesus. We always thought it's the New Year of the Westerners because of the song, We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year." So they thought, oh, Christmas is the New Year of the Americans or the white people. I said, no. It's about Jesus. And they were like, oh, it's not, where's your Santa Claus? We don't have Santa Claus. And they were like, huh? So great opportunity for us to tell them about the true meaning of Christmas. And we also have a social enterprise wing, which is a ministry to create job opportunities and to develop new skill and generate funds to support the ministry. So we have a fish farm right there. That's our fish farm. We've got about 10,000 groupers that we grow and then sell. And then we have a sewing project. We train our girls to sew, and then we sell their handicrafts. And we host overseas volunteers. So on an average, we've got 10 to 12 teams that come. We have the facility to house them, to feed them, and so our staff, we train them on hospitality, F&B skills as well, and generate funds. So this, instead of me trying to raise funds all the time, this social enterprise will actually help us create job opportunities, generate revenue, so that we will not always have to rely heavily on foreign support. And Bible outreach, this is the key. If you notice, through the school, through the social activities, through the social enterprise, people come to our center, which is actually the church. All right? Every day people come, and we get to know where they live, and we go to the villages. Some of them don't even know where they are on Google Maps, but through word of mouth we find out where they live, and we go and teach them the Bible. And one thing that I focus a lot on, and I'm glad and so happy that Pastor Owen is doing the same thing, and spending and pouring his time into teaching you all the Bible, which is so important to ensure that we continue the work of the gospel when we are no longer around. And as a result, we are able to establish 2 churches now, one in 2007, and recently last year we established another one. All right, Ban Nam Kim is in the village, or rather New Life Baptist Church Ban Nam Kim is in the village, and New Life Baptist Church Pakopa is in the town. Sounds like some local names here, Pakopa, Panga. But no, we're in Thailand. So last year, July last year, I was given an opportunity to go to Myanmar, and I took over. There is my friend who started this non-profit organization in America called Remember. They have a ministry in Myanmar, which is called the Hope Children's Home. So it's a children's home for children from families that face persecution or that are impoverished. So my main involvement there is to restructure the administration and management of the home, Bible training, leadership training, mentoring, and of course church planting, because there's no church in that community. So we are hoping that through this ministry, we got about 40, 50 boys, and it's a great opportunity for us to train them and let them be the local evangelists to take the gospel. So this chart basically summarizes what I do through education, social and community services, and social enterprise. We do church planting. If you notice, it's a pretty holistic approach to church planting. So please continue to pray for us. Jason, Kodai, and Hannah, we covered your prayer, and it's great to see all the wonderful faces here. And I'm going to switch over to my message now. Do I need this maybe? Now, as I was saying earlier on that, often we think spreading the gospel, preaching the gospel, telling people about Jesus Christ, it's like, maybe it's like an optional thing. And almost, many churches that I've been to, they feel that let's leave it to the professionals to do it. In other words, the missionaries, the pastors, or the people that the pastor have trained. Or I'm just a regular churchgoer, I'm just a layman. I just sleep on the floor because I'm lame. And no, that's not my job. I just come, I give my tithes and offerings, I do a little bit of serving on Sunday. Okay, I'm good. All right, and the rest of the things, if I have time, I'll sign up for the Bible class so the pastor can teach me. But I just want to learn enough to know more about God, and so that I'll be a bit holier. And then, okay, I'm good. When it comes to telling people about Jesus, we've paid Pastor Irvin to do it. Or some other guys that he's training, right? It's their job. So, I want to look at this. Local church. Well, the local church. When we talk about global mission, is it a program or is it a command? A program or a command? Let's consider these questions. 3 questions, and that will form the outline of today's sermon. I would like you to ask the first question. Are you a Christian or are you a follower of Christ? Next, is local church global mission a church program or biblical command? And thirdly, should our approach to world evangelism be mission-minded or missional? I'll talk about that later on. Let's look at the first question. Are you a Christian or a follower of Christ? Remember 11:30, stand up, okay? Okay. Let's look at these verses. Acts 4:13. And they took knowledge of them that they had been with Jesus. I think if someone were to come to us and make that statement, that would be the best compliment that one could give to a child of God. That you're different. Have you been with Jesus or, the church or whatever? So when we went down south and did all that tsunami relief work, someone actually came to us while we were doing it and said, "Excuse me, are you all Christians?" I said, "Why did you say that?" "No, you guys are different. You're different from..." Now, you have to understand there are thousands of relief organizations that went in to help them. Right? I mean, they suddenly, this small, tiny little fishing village, it's a fishing village, right? Was thrown into the world's radar, and everybody was focusing and sending all kinds of relief agencies and relief items to this small village. So there were so many of them. So to have someone walk to us and said, "Are you Christian?" I said, "Yes." "Why do you say that?" And she went on to explain why we were different from even the monks. So to me, I was like, yes, we didn't tell us to go around holding a cross, passing out tracts. No, we didn't do that. We're just doing, and but we did hold their hands, embrace them, pray with them, and so on and so forth. So the word Christian is found only 3 times in the New Testament, but over 260 times was the word follower mentioned. Now, if you have studied biblical interpretation or study your Bible, methods of studying the Bible, if you do the inductive Bible study, IBS, you realize that when, under observation, if you realize that a word is repeated over and over and mentioned over and over again, it means it's important, right? So which is more important, follower of Christ or Christian? Follower. So Ravi Zacharias, who's one of my favorite apologists, made this statement: "If there is one apologetic struggle I live with, it is this question. Why is it that so many people who talk of a supernatural transformation show so little of the transformed life?" We are all so happy when we accepted Christ as our personal Savior. We felt the great deliverance. We're delivered from the bondage of sin. We're delivered from condemnation and the judgment of being condemned to hell and so on and so forth. We're so happy. But many of us just stop there. We say, okay, so long I'm delivered from hell and all the judgment, I'm good. If I grow in Christ, yeah, but we'll see how it goes. And if I have time. And I know this is a constant struggle for many of us, but Ravi has a point. Ravi is asking, why aren't the followers of Christ or Christian showing forth that supernatural transformation that that have